Over the next few videos, we are going to see a number of absolutely brilliant resources to get free and extremely high quality stock vector and photographic images. And just before we get started, some of these sites, even though they're free, require you to sign up, and then you have to log in before you can actually download any of the files. And just so that you don't have to worry about keeping track of your own account, I have created an ODP email address, and I've used these exact same details to register at all of the sites that require registration. So if you get to any of the sites that I'm about to go over and you find that they're asking you to log in before you can download anything, the email address that you want to use is gevodp@gmail.com. The username is going to be gevodp and the password is Chikimo. Depending on the site, they might ask you for the email or the username. You might not know quite which one, but I would say first just try to log in with the username gevodp and Chikimo. If that doesn't work, then all it means is that that is the site which actually wants your email. So then just try again with the email and that'll work just fine. If you find that it's not working, or if you find a great new stock image site, please just let me know and then I can simply register for that one as well. So right now I'm going to be going over 5 specific resources for vector graphics. And vector graphics are the cartoon-like images which have a special file format that allows you to increase and decrease their size as much as you want. And if you want to get the basics on how to do that, you can watch the videos on Inkscape. Another great thing about these vector sites is that a lot of the time you'll get a set. So instead of just getting one particular animal, you can get a set of like 40 different sea creatures all in one file, and then you can just extract each one, change the size as much as you want, and use it however you would like to. But before we get into these specific sites, one thing you can do is you can just go to a Google search, and if there's something in particular that you're looking for, you can just type the name of it. So let's say, for example, I need a penguin, and then in inverted commas you can just type free vector. And if you do a search, you'll get a whole lot of these results. And a lot of the time, these will take you to websites that just post links to other websites, etc., etc. But often you'll find something that you are looking for. Sometimes, unfortunately, they'll actually take you to a site that requires you to pay. But often you will get good results, so it's not a bad place to start by just Googling whatever you're looking for, and then in inverted commas, free vector. However, what I've found is that most of the time these searches are going to take you to any one of the 5 websites that I'm going to go over now. So you can also just start with these. The first one I want to discuss is openclipart.org, and there'll be links posted to every one of these sites underneath this video on the site. And OpenClipArt is actually made in association with Inkscape itself. So this is all part of the same organization. And there's actually a link to this website on the same site that you download Inkscape itself from. So this is all part of the same project. And you just click on ClipArt. And as you can see, a lot of these are really high quality cartoon-like images. And you can now go through these, you can browse through these categories, or you can just do a site search, like over here. And here you just get random tags. So you can look for absolutely anything, for example, map. And you get all kinds of results that are shown. You can get all kinds of icons. You can look for animals. For example, we could look for a penguin. And you'll get lots and lots of options. This particular library actually works on a community basis, so anybody can download images for free, and then people will actually upload images. So some of them won't be so great, like these ones are kind of boring, but some of them will be really awesome. Just to make sure that you know how to download files from this particular site, this site works differently to all the others. First of all of these images are going to be in the SVG format, which is exactly what Inkscape is designed for. And bear in mind, it doesn't matter what size you see these images as, because they're vectors, you can increase the size as much as you want, and the quality is going to be perfect. In order to download any one of these images, you've got to click it. So you click its link, and then you click this View SVG button. And this is where it works a little differently to other normal sites. Normally when you download a picture, you will either get a download link that's going to save the picture onto your hard drive, or you would right click it and you would see a save picture as somewhere here. Well, you're not actually going to see that with this file. What you want to do is save this web page. So you can either in your browser at the top go save page as, or you can just right click and say save page as. And then you'll see it's going to save it as a .svg. So that's the special kind of file type, scalable vector graphic. And when you save it in this format, even though this penguin is at this stage only this big, you could increase this to 20 meters tall if you particularly wanted to, and it would look absolutely perfect. So the clipart library has thousands and thousands of images. It's an excellent resource, and everything you get here is going to work perfectly with Inkscape. Then the second resource I wanted to show you was the Microsoft Office clipart library. So to get here, all I did was I typed Microsoft clipart into a Google search, and I came to this page. So again, there are thousands and thousands of images here. Some of them are photographs, so if you're looking for a photograph, you can look here. But a lot of these are vectors as well. And the best way to find a vector is just to click this illustrations button, and then you can search for something like, for example, tiger. And so as you can see, everything that we get when we search for illustrations are going to be these illustration type files. And so you can click one, and what you want to look for is here where it says resolution. If it says resizable, that means that you're dealing also with one of these special files that you can take into Inkscape and resize as much as you want with no quality loss. So again, it doesn't matter how big or small this particular image is. If you right click it, you could go save image as, but that's not what you want to do, because then you're just going to get this tiny little image in pixels and you're not really going to be able to increase the size. If you click download here, this works in the normal way, so this would then just save the file into any place on your computer that you choose. And what you want to note is that this is called the WMF file. That just stands for Windows Meta File. All you need to know is that that's going to open very nicely in Inkscape, and then you can save that out as an SVG and open it in GIMP, etc., etc. For more information on that, you can watch the videos on how to use Inkscape. The third option I wanted to show you, which is absolutely brilliant, is easyvectors.com. And here you can see that they have 32,060 free vector downloads. So there are tons and tons and tons of images here. And this is actually the site where I got this set of these Chinese zodiac characters that I was working on in some of the Inkscape videos. And what's brilliant about this library, and a lot of the other libraries that you'll find, is that they often give you sets, and sets are extremely useful. For example, this funny animal set. If I was to download this and open it in Inkscape, I could extract each one of these or any of these and then scale them and do anything that I wanted with it. So that's extremely useful by downloading just one file. For example, if I click this funny animals file, you get this download link. So you just click download. If you want to, you can preview. And all of these sites except the Microsoft and the Open Clipart are going to send anything you download to you in a zip format, in a zip file. So you can just click save file, and I'll save this on my desktop. So you just click save. Then as soon as that's downloaded, you can just unzip the file with your standard unzipping program. So I'm using WinRAR, but you could use whatever's on your operating system. And if you open up this file, you see that there it is, vectoranimals.eps. Now, this brings up a very good point. A lot of the really great vectors that you're going to get from these sites can come in various different formats. You might see something that says .ai, and that's the Adobe Illustrator file format. That's going to open just fine in Inkscape. In fact, 99% of the file formats you get will open fine in Inkscape. EPS actually doesn't. So if I tried to open this file in Inkscape, I would just get an error. But that's not a problem. All you need to do is see the videos on how to convert an EPS file into a PDF, and then you're going to be absolutely fine. Now, just to show you how cool this really is, I've actually taken that file and converted it, and I've got it open in Inkscape now. And I can extremely easily just select any one of these animals, and notice that they look really, really tiny at this point. If I go down to 100% zoom, you can see that these are really, really small little images, and so under normal circumstances these would be absolutely useless to you. However, I can take any of these images, for example this little fish. I could, for example, just drag one of these corner handles and make it as big as I wanted to. You could then make this into a group. You could copy and paste it into a new file and then open it in GIMP, and it would open perfectly with perfect transparency in the background. You can do any number of these things, and again, watch the videos on Inkscape. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you've got a huge number just in this one file of absolutely awesome, cute little animal pictures, and every single one of these can be any size that you wanted to. So that's really the power of vectors and knowing where to get good free vector stock from. So this is just one file that you could make any number of images out of. Then the fourth option I wanted to show you was free vector art and graphics. Now this works very similarly to easyvectors.com, and to be honest, so do most other free vector sites. So once again, you can just search for any kind of objects, and some of these will be a little bit more design orientated, so you'll get these kind of like grungy or urban looking designs. But remember that because these are vectors, you don't need to take this whole picture. If I was to download this as a vector, I could just take this one tree out, or maybe just these birds. So if you see just one particular object inside an image on any of these sites that you like, it's very, very easy to just take that into Inkscape and just remove that one object. The last site I wanted to show you was allfreedownload.com, and this has tons and tons of vectors. So what you want to do is just click under the free vector tab over here, and then you can just start browsing. And again, you'll see a lot of this design type stuff. So if you want, you could use these as sort of backgrounds to a PowerPoint or any kind of printout. But you also get some really cool icons. So if you're doing something like a facility, you could look for a piggy bank or a credit card icon, or any of these road signs for a travel class. And the fantastic thing about using vectors is just always going to be that the quality is going to be so good in terms of the edges and the sharpness of your images. So with these 5 options in mind, you have easily over 100,000 different images. You really shouldn't have any problem finding an image of something that you're looking for between these 5 sites. You can look for other free vector sites. I'm sure I haven't covered all of them. And because these files are so flexible, this is going to save you an immense amount of time when it comes to finding images, and the quality of your work is just going to be so much better as a result.